The nursing home smelled like antiseptic and overcooked vegetables, but Elena Martinez barely noticed anymore. At 26, she'd been working as a CNA for 4 years, and Riverside Senior Care had become her second home. The pay was terrible, the work exhausting, but the residents made it worthwhile. Especially Mr. Harrison. Walter Harrison was 92, a retired businessman who'd built a fortune in manufacturing before dementia slowly stole his memories. He had no regular visitors, just a file noting he had family who paid his substantial bills but never called. Elena had taken to him immediately. Something about his kind eyes, the way he still said please and thank you even when he couldn't remember her name. Every day after her shift officially ended, Elena spent an extra hour with him. She'd read him the newspaper, even though he couldn't follow the stories. She'd show him photos of her daughter, Sophia, who was 7. She'd brush his thinning white hair and make sure he ate his dinner, cutting the food into small pieces when his hands shook too badly. "You're a good girl," he'd say sometimes, his moments of clarity growing rarer. "You remind me of someone. My daughter, maybe. Or was it my wife? I'm Elena, Mr. Harrison. I take care of you, yes. Yes, you do." He'd pat her hand with trembling fingers. "Someone should take care of you, too." Elena never told him that she was barely making it. Single mother working double shifts, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with her daughter because it was all she could afford. Medical bills from Sophia's asthma treatments were crushing her. She'd started selling her belongings, considering taking a second job, anything to stay afloat. But those extra hours with Mr. Harrison weren't about money. They were about treating him like he mattered, like he was still a person and not just a body in a bed waiting to die. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. Elena was helping Mr. Harrison with his lunch when the door opened. A man in his 30s walked in, expensive suit, confident stride, followed by 2 people who were obviously lawyers based on their briefcases and serious expressions. "Grandfather," the man said, his voice too loud, like he was talking to a child. "It's me, Marcus, your grandson." Mr. Harrison looked up, confused. "I have a grandson?" Elena saw Marcus's jaw tighten. "Yes. We've met several times. I'm your son Richard's boy." "Richard." Mr. Harrison's face brightened. "My son, where is he? He died, grandfather. 10 years ago. We've discussed this." The old man's face crumpled. Elena moved closer, putting a comforting hand on his shoulder. "It's okay, Mr. Harrison. You're okay." Marcus noticed her for the first time. "Who are you?" "Elena Martinez. I'm one of the CNAs here. I help take care of your grandfather." "I see." Marcus looked her up and down in a way that made Elena's skin crawl. "Could you give us some privacy? This is family business." Elena looked at Mr. Harrison, who was agitated now, breathing fast. "I should stay. He gets upset when his routine changes. I didn't ask for your opinion. I asked you to leave." One of the lawyers cleared his throat. "Actually, Ms. Martinez, we may need you to stay. You're mentioned in some of the documentation we need to discuss." Elena froze. "I'm sorry, what?" Marcus pulled out a folder, his expression hardening. "It seems my grandfather has been making some concerning financial decisions. Specifically, he's been attempting to write checks to you, significant amounts." "What? No. I've never taken money from Mr. Harrison. Never." "Really?" Marcus held up several photocopied checks. "Because the nursing home's financial department flagged these. 5 checks made out to Elena, ranging from $5,000 to $20,000, all written in the last 6 months. Elena stared at the checks, her mind reeling. "I didn't know about these, I swear. I never received any money from him. Convenient." Marcus's voice was ice. "My grandfather has advanced dementia. He's vulnerable, easily manipulated. And here you are spending extra time with him after your shift ends, getting close to him, positioning yourself to take advantage. That's not what happened." Elena's voice rose. "I spend time with him because he's alone, because everyone else abandoned him. We didn't abandon him. We placed him in an excellent facility and ensured he had the best care money could buy. You put him here and forgot about him. When's the last time you visited? 6 months ago? A year?" Marcus's face flushed. "My business obligations don't matter to him. He doesn't remember you. But he remembers kindness. He remembers when someone treats him like a person. One of the lawyers interrupted. Miss Martinez, regardless of your intentions, there's the matter of these checks. The facility's policy is clear. Staff cannot accept gifts or money from residents. If Mr. Harrison attempted to give you money, you should have reported it immediately. I didn't know. He never gave me checks. I never saw them. The second lawyer spoke up. According to the facility's records, these checks were found in Mr. Harrison's room during a routine inspection. They were written but never given to anyone. However, Mr. Marcus Harrison is concerned about potential elder abuse and financial exploitation. Elena felt sick. You think I was stealing from him? I think you were taking advantage of a confused old man, Marcus said coldly. Building a relationship, getting him dependent on you, positioning yourself to inherit or receive money. It's textbook manipulation. That's insane. I was just being kind. No one is just kind for free. Marcus's eyes were hard. What were you hoping for? A big inheritance? A generous gift in his will? Elena's hands shook with rage and fear. I was hoping he wouldn't die alone and forgotten by his own family. That's all I ever wanted. Mr. Harrison, who'd been watching this exchange with growing confusion, suddenly spoke up. Don't yell at her. She's a good girl. She reads to me. Grandfather, she's been manipulating you. No! The old man's voice was surprisingly strong. You don't know. You're never here. She comes every day, every day. She shows me pictures of her little girl. She makes me laugh. She's the only one who cares. Elena knelt beside his chair. Mr. Harrison, it's okay. Don't get upset. I wanted to help you, he said, tears in his cloudy eyes. You said you were struggling. I have money. So much money. I wanted to give you some. Why is that wrong? Elena's throat tightened. It's not wrong, but I can't accept it. That's not why I spend time with you. I know. That's why I wanted to give it. Marcus was unmoved. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She's clearly discussed her financial problems with you. Planted the idea that you should help her. I mentioned I had medical bills once, Elena said. My daughter has asthma. It came up in conversation. I never asked for anything. You didn't have to ask. That's how this works. You create sympathy, make him want to help, then act shocked when he tries to give you money. The first lawyer pulled out more documents. Miss Martinez, we've reviewed the facility's surveillance footage. You do indeed spend considerable time with Mr. Harrison beyond your official duties. You bring him food from outside, personal items, spend your breaks and time after your shift in his room. Because he's alone, or because you're cultivating a relationship that benefits you financially. Elena felt tears burning her eyes. I'm a CNA. I make $13 an hour. Yes, I struggle. Yes, I worry about money every single day. But I have never, ever used a patient for financial gain. Not once. Not ever. Marcus's voice softened slightly but remained skeptical. Then explain why you spend so much extra time with my grandfather specifically. Why not the other residents? Because he reminded me of my own grandfather, Elena said, the words tearing out of her. Because my abuelo died in a nursing home alone while I was working 3 jobs and couldn't afford to visit. Because I was 22 and broke, and I failed him. And every day I see your grandfather sitting here with no visitors, no family, nobody who cares, and I can't fail again. I won't. The room went quiet. Even Marcus looked slightly uncomfortable. Mr. Harrison reached for Elena's hand. I'm sorry about your grandfather. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. One of the lawyers cleared his throat. Ms. Martinez will need to conduct a full investigation. Interview you formally. Review all interactions with Mr. Harrison. Verify that no money or gifts changed hands. Fine. Investigate. You won't find anything because there's nothing to find. In the meantime, Marcus said, you're not to have any contact with my grandfather. I'm filing a formal complaint with the facility. You'll be reassigned. You can't do that. I absolutely can. I'm his legal guardian and I'm exercising my right to determine who has access to him. Elena looked at Mr. Harrison, whose face had crumpled in confusion and sadness. But I visit every day. She's my friend. She's paid staff, grandfather. Not your friend. She's more my friend than you are, the old man said with unexpected clarity. You came here to accuse her. You never come just to see me. Marcus flinched but recovered quickly. I'm protecting you. From the only person who makes me feel human? Mr. Harrison's voice broke. Some protection. Elena fought back tears. It's okay, Mr. Harrison. I'll be fine. You'll be fine. But she didn't believe it, and neither did he. The investigation took 2 weeks. Elena was put on administrative leave, which meant no pay. Her bills piled up. Sophia's inhaler prescription ran out, and Elena had to choose between refilling it and paying rent. She chose the inhaler. The nursing home's administration interviewed her for hours. They reviewed every moment of footage, every interaction with Mr. Harrison. They questioned other staff members, looked at her finances, searched for any evidence that she'd received money or gifts. They found nothing, because there was nothing to find. Finally, Elena was called into the administrator's office. Marcus Harrison was there, along with the lawyers. Ms. Martinez, the administrator said, "Our investigation has concluded. We found no evidence of financial exploitation or abuse. The checks Mr. Harrison wrote were never cashed or deposited. You have no unexplained income or assets. Your story checks out." Elena sagged with relief. "So I can return to work?" "Yes, with a formal apology from the facility for the stress this caused." She turned to Marcus. "And from you?" Marcus's jaw was tight. "The lawyers advised me that I may have been overly cautious. My grandfather is vulnerable, and I was trying to protect him. By destroying the one person who actually cared about him, I didn't know your intentions were genuine. Because you assumed the worst. Because you couldn't imagine that someone might be kind without expecting something in return." Elena stood. "I'm going back to work, and I'm going to visit Mr. Harrison every day, just like before. If you have a problem with that, you can investigate me 100 more times. You won't find anything." She turned to leave, but Marcus spoke up. "Wait." Elena stopped. "I owe you more than an apology," Marcus said slowly. "I owe you an explanation. And maybe I owe my grandfather more than a check to a nursing home." Over the next hour, Marcus told her about his father's death, his own grief, his inability to face his grandfather's deterioration, how it was easier to pay for care and stay away than to watch dementia steal the man who taught him to ride a bike. "I was protecting myself," Marcus admitted, "not him. When I saw those checks, I was angry that he'd give money to a stranger when I was the one who'd been handling his affairs, managing his estate. It felt like betrayal. He wasn't betraying you. He was trying to help someone who reminded him what kindness looks like." Marcus nodded slowly. "I see that now. I also see that I've been a terrible grandson, worse than terrible, absent." "It's not too late," Elena said quietly. "He still has time. Not much, maybe, but some. You could visit, really visit, not with lawyers, not with business. Just sit with him, let him tell you the same stories over and over. Hold his hand, that's all he wants." "I don't know if I can. Seeing him like this, it's hard, I know. But running away from hard things doesn't make them easier. It just means you live with regret instead of memories." Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "Would you teach me how to be with him? I don't know what to do, what to say." Elena smiled slightly. "You just be present, that's all. The rest comes naturally." Over the following months, something unexpected happened. Marcus started visiting regularly, at first awkwardly, then with growing ease. He'd sit with his grandfather, with Elena there to help when Mr. Harrison got confused or agitated. Marcus learned to read to him, to look at old photos, to simply hold his hand in silence. He learned that his grandfather's moments of clarity were gifts, that even in confusion there was still a person who deserved dignity and love. When Mr. Harrison died peacefully in his sleep 6 months later, Marcus and Elena were both there, along with Sophia, who'd become honorary granddaughter to the old man. At the funeral, Marcus approached Elena. "I wanted to thank you, not just for caring for my grandfather, but for teaching me how to care for him. I would have missed these last months if not for you. You would have regretted it forever." "I know." Marcus pulled out an envelope. "My grandfather left you something in his will. Before you protest, this was decided months ago, verified by lawyers. Completely legal and appropriate." Elena opened it. Inside was a check for $50,000 and a letter in shaky handwriting. "Dear Elena, you gave me the last good year of my life. You made me feel seen when everyone else looked through me. This money is not payment. You can't pay someone for genuine kindness. This is a grandfather helping a granddaughter because that's what you became to me. Use it for Sophia's medical care. Use it to build a better life. Use it knowing you earned it not by manipulation, but by being exactly who you are, a person who cares. Thank you for reminding an old man that he was still worth caring about. With love, Walter. Elena cried, really cried, for the first time since this whole ordeal began. He also set up a trust for Sophia's education, Marcus added. And he left instructions for me to ensure you always have support if you need it. Not as charity, but as family taking care of family. I don't know what to say. Say you'll let me honor his wishes. Say you'll let me try to be the kind of person he saw in you, someone who cares more about people than transactions. Elena nodded, unable to speak. Years later, Elena finished her nursing degree funded by Mr. Harrison's gift. She opened a small home care service that specialized in providing companionship and dignity to elderly clients. Marcus served on her board, using his business skills to help her grow. Sophia, healthy and thriving thanks to proper medical care, often visited the seniors Elena cared for, bringing the same kindness her mother had shown Mr. Harrison. And in Elena's office hung a photo, her, Mr. Harrison, and Marcus, taken a week before the old man died. 3 people who'd found each other through suspicion and investigation, and ended up becoming family through forgiveness and grace. Sometimes the people who accuse us of wrong motives are the ones who've forgotten what genuine kindness looks like. Sometimes lawyers and investigations reveal not crimes, but the poverty of human connection. And sometimes the greatest inheritances aren't money or property, but the reminder that caring for others without expecting anything in return is the truest form of wealth. If this story touched you, please like and share it with someone who works in caregiving and deserves recognition. Subscribe for more stories about unexpected connections and the power of genuine kindness, and comment about a caregiver who made a difference in your family's life. They deserve to know they matter,